Strong can mean different things to different cyclists. It might just mean good, it might mean mentally tough, or it might literally mean having massive quads and calves so chiseled you look like you've been hewn from granite. Now, there are no shortcuts to getting ripped, I'm afraid, but here are 3 things that will make you stronger. Sweet spot efforts. Now, those of you regular to GCN will no doubt have heard this term before. We have all advocated it at some time or another, and with good reason, because we all did it. And what is it? Well, sweet spot refers to a level of intensity, one that you could sustain for about, I don't know, an hour and a half if really pushed. Or to put it in terms of power, it's about 85 to 90% of your lactate threshold, and as a percentage of your max heart rate, it's about 80%. So how do you do sweet spot training then? There's a couple of different ways. You could do efforts of about 20 to 40 minutes long as part of longer rides, or my old get fit quick technique, which is to do solid blocks of an hour and a half. Dodgy tarmac. Solid blocks of an hour and a half. Now, as an added bonus for those of us using power meters, if you try and beat your average power by not much, just a couple of watts every time, it can be a really effective tool for actually making sure you progress. But if you don't have a power meter, then you don't need to worry. It can still be super effective. You just need to bear a couple of things in mind. So firstly, you want to avoid any spikes in effort, so no sprinting up short climbs, and you want a predominantly flat route, so no traffic, because what we're looking for is a sustained effort and not loads of jumping around and smashing it when you feel like it. Okay, so now we're working on our never miss a turn ability. What about literal strength? Being able to roll a big gear up short, steep climbs and away from stop signs. Well, a bit depends on your natural attributes, of course. Those with amazing endurance may not be blessed with the fast twitch fibres of a pure sprinter. But no matter who you are, improvements can still be made. You can almost always make more of what you've got. And that is by neuromuscular training, so helping to develop nerve pathways that ultimately will help you recruit more muscle fibres. It's why you might find that if you were, for some reason, to start doing a push-up regime, that you make big gains for the first few weeks, but then reach a plateau. And that's because you've developed neuromuscular pathways to make more of what you've got, and then you just have to wait a lot longer to actually start making more muscle fibres. Oh God. So the moral of that is that even if you ride your bike all the time, you may still not be recruiting all of your muscle fibres. And so you need to train them. And a great way of doing that is standing start efforts. So you roll to stop in a really big gear, like your big ring and a long way down the cassette, and then simply sprint up to speed as hard as you can. Then just recover well and repeat 10 times. Then that's it, that is your session done. You can just roll home. Because it's such a short session, you can actually do it on the way home from work or even as an early morning or an evening ride to supplement another ride that day. Although, be careful, it is really demanding, so you may end up feeling like total rubbish when you go out again. To a certain extent, cycling strength depends on our mental fortitude. It's what allows some riders to shrug off wind and rain and win 6-hour epic bike races, whilst others cower in their team cars. And it's what allows some riders to push on for hours, even days on end, to cover incredible distances. So how do they do it? Well, to a certain extent, it depends on you as an individual. Compartmentalising pain can be really effective. So simply trying to remove yourself from it and block it out. That can be surprisingly effective. Certainly you'll be familiar with how focusing on pain can make it all seem so much worse. Framing your pain or your discomfort in a positive way can also be really powerful. So with a positive frame of mind, you'll find that you can sustain speeds that would be impossible if you were feeling negative. It's why you probably find that dropping riders up a climb will help you go faster than if you yourself were hanging on and then got dropped. Now, this does take practice, so how do you do it? Well, certainly focusing on your goals can be really effective, as is focusing on a positive outcome. And then there's this, which is kind of weird, but you may find that when going really hard, actually gaining control of your breathing will help put you in a better frame of mind. To become a strong rider then, you need to develop your aerobic engine. You need to improve your peak power, whether you consider yourself a skinny climber or not. But then you just need to convince yourself that you are strong. That is actually probably the most powerful tool that we have. But you don't want to neglect your training either. So why not click just up there and you get through to a video about how to improve your peak power, or down there and you get through to one about how to train for fast, flat rides. Before going to either of those though, do make sure you subscribe to GCN. To do that, just click on the globe.